my motherfucking 3 cent. That's what I'm here to give this morning on the P Diddy situation. And and but I'm not saying what I'm saying to say what this is what it is. Uh, Basically, I'm giving just another point of view. You know what I'm saying? Because when you hear things about famous people and stuff like this, people tend to just run with the general narrative or the masses of and stuff like that. So I'm giving another way of thinking when it comes to this stuff. You know what I'm saying? Because I wasn't there, none of us was there. We hear what people are saying and stuff like that, but some of this shit doesn't add up. So the first thing smoking that we feel or that we come up with and stuff like that, we shouldn't necessarily run with it. And the reason why I'm saying that is because somebody's life is on the line. You know what I'm saying? Somebody's life is genuinely on the line. And we've seen it time and time again with people out there trying to get people's money. Recently what's going on, Bruce? Recently in the news that Mayor's guy, the actor, I told people to shut the fuck up, and now look what happened. I was right. So let's go down the list of things. So this new lady comes out and says that P Diddy got her when she was 17. Now people are running with the narrative of the 17 part, but not realizing that most states 17 is legal when it comes to the age of consent. Now we're talking about the law, ladies and gentlemen. We're not talking about my opinions or anything like that or how I feel. I'm not saying that it's right or wrong or nothing like that. I'm just giving y'all another point of view of maybe what we should be taking into account when we trying to sift through some shit, because we really ain't got no evidence of anything. All we have is opinions, right? So she was 17, legal age of consent, right? The news and everybody is throwing the 17 out there and saying she was just 17 and all that stuff, because they want people to vilify them as a rapist for her being 17. You see what I'm saying? Right? As if she was 15 years old. You see what I'm saying? That's the reason why they saying it the way they saying it, the news, is some of these people. They're not saying that 17 was the legal age of consent in that article or any of them guys. You could go and look up the legal age of consent. And I had to do this for my job like 10 years ago when we kicked this guy out for 16 counts of sexual assault against his stepdaughter. I looked it up, and at the time, Ohio legal age of consent was 16. So yeah, right. The song, I know what you're talking about, Bruce. She's just 16 years old. Leave her alone, they say. You know what I'm saying? And everybody looking at P. Diddy, but nobody looking at the parents. The same thing with R. Kelly. Nobody looking at the parents. Whatever happened to child endangerment? How come everybody is more fixated with the people who has all the money instead of everybody that has something to do with it? It's the same thing with Epstein. Everybody ran. Epstein is the only one they got. They left everybody alone. Makes no, but they don't want, what's up with this shit of actually going after everybody else? Oh, that's that song Into the Night, Bruce. Into the Night. That's how it actually starts. Into the Night. Because we was laughing when the dude got caught with the charges of the stepdaughter, and somebody played that beginning of the song. But like let's be real. Nobody goes after the parents. If she's just 17 years old and y'all trying to use that 17 as a way to get them for having sexuals with somebody that's not able to give consent, right? Why did the parent, what's up with the parents? She was taking photos all in the dude's lap in the studio, right? Everybody around that knew about it didn't do shit, right? They not getting, you got people out here doing interviews saying how old she was, right? And they knew, and they didn't say nothing, right? Right? And then if somebody, ooh, that's a big ass fucking honk. If and this is what I always say, right? Right? I don't think these parents, I don't think people with kids really have a real conversation with their kids about reporting sexual assault or rape. You know what I'm saying? Or just physical domestic abuse in general. I don't think people really have these conversations with their kids like that. You know, because it's really funny how everybody's been, out of everybody that's been catching rape cases, right? 90% of them is almost when they losing their grip on their power. Epstein, Bill Cosby, P. Diddy. It's always some shit years down the road. Years down the road. And like I told y'all, it's the same thing. The same thing that it's like that shit. When I'm saying with that 17 shit, it's the same shit like when what's that dude? Tory Lanez calls a girl and apologizes to that would probably haunt her for the rest of her life. And people took that as if he was apologizing for shooting Megan Thee Stallion in the foot. Fucking stupid and absurd. People believe anything these days that people tell them what it is. That's not a mention of shooting somebody. You could probably go, well, what is he really thinking and all that stuff, but that's not somebody admitting to shooting somebody in the fucking foot. The same play, like I'm saying, the same play with that 17 shit that they want to throw out. It's the same thing. It's the same thing. Exactly the same thing. And I'm not saying he did it, and I'm not saying he didn't do it. Right? All I'm saying is there's things that need to be taken into account for, and people should talk about when they're talking about this shit. You're either going to talk about the whole thing or nothing at all, as far as I'm concerned, because I don't want to hear nobody talking about an open court case when all you hear is one side so far, right? Which are called allegations, because they said alleged, and then they give a backstory, then they give an intro. You know what I'm saying? Then they give how they are tied to the accusations. So let's just keep it real. But everybody wants to condemn people before, and we all know. Look, if you fly out a chick across state lines to come sleep with you in the hotel, you're breaking the law. You're breaking the law. That's why in Nigeria, that's why in certain, That's why in some countries shit don't happen like this. Because immediately they would say, what the fuck was you doing there? What the fuck was you doing there? Not the victim shame or anything like that, but like I said, people need to start talking to their fucking kids, teaching them how to report, why they should report. You know what I'm saying? Because doing that shit like 10, 15 years later down the road, it's kind of suspect. It's kind of fucking suspect. I mean, we could be nice about it. We could be fearful about it. Because everybody don't want to talk about this shit the way I'm talking about, because they too worried about losing fans and they too worried about how people would think about it. But we have to be real. We got to talk about the whole thing. The whole thing, and not just what we want to talk about. You're taking Polaroid pictures sitting on the dude's lap. You don't just go and get flown out to see him once, a couple of times, but he got you. But he got you. You were 17. Where was your parents at? You don't come home at night. Where was your parents at? And then this is another thing. Turn to your left, turn to your right, look in front of you, and look behind you, and ask how many women that was 16, 17-year-old with a grown-ass man that had a man in their 20s, that had a man in their 30s, 40s, that was getting picked up at the high school in the car. I'm not saying it's right, but look to your left, look to your right, look in front of you, and turn around and ask your neighbor. Ask your neighbor. Some of y'all ask your mama, your auntie, your grandma, your sister. Ask them. Ask them. Your child in high school and you ain't asking. Oh, I'm going to go sleep over such and such house. You ain't even making sure she there. You ain't even making sure she there. You ain't spinning the block, making sure she there. They need to lock their motherfucking parents up too. They need to lock their parents up, right, for child endangerment. Everybody up around that motherfucker should be locked up for delinquency of a minor, right? Y'all was, oh, it's past statute of limitations, but they should all be, the court should still agree to identifying them for contributing to the delinquency of a minor. Y'all was there. Y'all knew how old she was. Y'all probably was giving her weed, alcohol. See what I'm saying? Looking at her, lusting all over her, knowing how old she is. Probably getting busy too. So come on, let's keep it real. Talk about the whole thing and not some of the things. Let's keep it real. That's how I feel about it. I don't know if he did it. I don't know if he didn't do it. But I know in 2023, if you're doing that shit, they definitely extorting your ass for rape. They definitely going after your pockets. Because the way the law is designed right now, you ain't flying nobody out like that. Look at everybody out there right now that's getting charged. Look at everybody out there. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Telling y'all, man, this shit is buck wild. Yeah. So like I was saying, in 2023, right? You cannot take someone over the age of 18 over state lines having freak fests like that with all that money. You can't. You can't, because all the person has to say they was taken advantage of, or somebody out here to say that you was over here violating the Mann Act. You over there running a prostitution thing. You can't do it no more in 2023. And everybody knows it. Everybody knows it. I'm gonna go to the strip club, fly these bitches out, cross state lines to my crib or the hotel, bring all my homies, right? Nobody rapes nobody, but somebody comes out and say they was raped. What do you think is gonna happen to me? What do you think is gonna happen to me? Then they're gonna be like, well, all these stories is the same, and we heard about them doing these things, these freak fests and stuff like that. Right? I'm locked up. I'm locked up. And that's just what it is. That's just what it is. Motherfuckers can say whatever the fuck they want to, man. They can say whatever the fuck they want to. They can say I'm bullshitting. They can say I'm lying, or whatever the case may be. But look at everybody that did it, and look what they had to go through. You can't even dump a bitch these days, and have a whole bunch of money without that motherfucker coming at you talking about something. You beat them. You can't do shit these days. But I'm bullshitting, huh? I don't know what I'm talking about. Huh? Huh? Yeah, okay. All right. Name me one that did it. Name me one that did that same exact thing that didn't get a case. Name me one. Name me one. Look at Bootsy. Why you think he being so careful now? Because he already know. He already know. All it takes is one. And y'all, on that note, shout out to the whole entire world, and everybody stay sucker free.